The CEO of ASML told investors China would need many years to build an EUV machine. He said it on April 16, 2025. 2 weeks later, a Chinese research team led by a former ASML scientist published results showing they had already built one. Not a theoretical model, not a computer simulation. A working machine filling an entire factory floor in a high-security facility in Shenzhen. ASML is the Dutch company that makes the only machines on Earth capable of producing the most advanced chips. Its EUV lithography systems are how every cutting-edge processor in existence gets made. iPhones, NVIDIA AI chips, AMD processors, all of them depend on light that only ASML knows how to generate at the precision and scale needed for commercial production. The United States banned China from buying these machines in 2019. The ban was supposed to stop China from developing advanced semiconductors for a decade or more. What the ban actually did was something its architects never intended. It turned China's semiconductor problem into a national emergency. And national emergencies in China get treated like military campaigns. They recruit the best people. They classify the work. They give engineers false identities and pay them up to $700,000 to join. And they set a deadline. The Shenzhen machine exists. It generates EUV light. It is not yet producing chips, but the question that has governed Western semiconductor strategy for 6 years just changed. It is no longer whether China can build an EUV machine. It is how fast. To understand why this matters so much, you need to understand what an EUV machine actually does. Every chip in every device you use is made by drawing patterns onto silicon. The patterns are drawn with light. The smaller and more precise the light, the smaller the transistors, the more powerful the chip. For decades, the industry used ultraviolet light from conventional sources. Then it hit a physical limit. The wavelengths were too long to draw the fine patterns that next-generation chips required. ASML solved this by generating extreme ultraviolet light. EUV, a wavelength 13.5 nanometers, shorter than any conventional light source by a factor of 14. To generate this light, ASML fires a high-powered laser at tiny tin droplets, vaporizing them into plasma that emits EUV radiation. The process happens 50,000 times per second inside a vacuum chamber. The mirrors that direct this light are so precise they have no equal anywhere in industrial manufacturing. Carl Zeiss in Germany makes them. Each mirror is polished to an accuracy equivalent to mapping the surface of the Earth to within a millimeter. No other company on Earth can make them. ASML's EUV machines stand 2 stories tall, weigh 100,000 kilograms, and cost $350 million each. They require multiple Boeing 747 cargo flights to deliver, and they are the most important industrial machines ever built, because without them, the chips that run modern AI, modern communications, and modern military systems cannot be made. The export ban that Washington convinced the Netherlands to impose on ASML was the most consequential technology restriction in history, more targeted than any tariff, more surgical than any sanction. If you cannot buy an EUV machine, you cannot make an advanced chip. If you cannot make an advanced chip, your AI systems, your military electronics, and your communications infrastructure fall behind and stay behind. That was the theory. China was importing EUV machines from ASML before the ban. After 2019, the shipment stopped. ASML's CEO told investors that without access to EUV technology, China would be delayed by 10 to 15 years. Western analysts use numbers like 2035 and 2040 when estimating when China might independently develop comparable capability. The consensus was firm. The ban had created a wall that China simply could not climb in any reasonable time frame. Then China ran a Manhattan Project to climb it. Not metaphorically, the Shenzhen facility is classified at national security level. Engineers working there were given false identity documents. They lived on site, working around the clock. Access to phones was restricted. The project was coordinated by entities connected to Huawei, the company the United States has spent years trying to cripple through export controls. And the person who may have made it possible was a man who used to work for ASML itself. Lin Nan joined ASML in the Netherlands and spent years as head of light source technology in the company's research division. He was not a peripheral scientist. He was the person responsible for the most critical component of the most critical machine in the semiconductor industry, the EUV light source, the plasma generation system that makes everything else possible. In 2021, he returned to China as part of the government's overseas high-level talent recruitment program. Signing bonuses across the program ran from $420,000 to $700,000. Housing subsidies, relocation support, and access to state-funded laboratories with essentially unlimited research budgets. Lin had been a student of Anne Lhuillier, the 2023 Nobel Prize winner in physics for work on attosecond light pulses. He understood EUV physics at the deepest level, and he understood ASML's approach in specific, practical engineering detail that no textbook could provide. Within 18 months of returning to China, his team at the Shanghai Institute of Optics and Fine Mechanics filed 8 patents on EUV light sources. In December 2024, they published a paper reporting a conversion efficiency of 3.42% on a solid-state laser-driven EUV light source. The number matters. Commercial ASML systems achieve above 5%. 3.42% is below that threshold, but it is higher than almost every other research institution on Earth had achieved, and it used a fundamentally different approach that ASML had not pursued. Here is the technical detail that changes everything. ASML's EUV machines use carbon dioxide lasers made by an American company called Cymer to excite the tin plasma. Carbon dioxide lasers are powerful and proven, but they are also controlled by American export regulations. Lin Nan's team chose a different path. Solid-state lasers, the same class of laser technology used in industrial cutting and manufacturing, widely available, not subject to the same export controls, easier to source domestically in China. Conventional wisdom said carbon dioxide laser-driven EUV was the only viable commercial approach. ASML built an entire ecosystem around that assumption. Cymer is an ASML subsidiary. The supply chain runs through American components that Washington can control. Lin Nan's team demonstrated that solid-state laser-driven EUV light generation not only works, it has been improving at a rate that ASML did not anticipate from that direction. The Shenzhen prototype takes a different approach still. It was built partly from components of older ASML machines acquired on the secondary market through intermediaries. Engineers who formerly worked at ASML and other Western chip equipment companies were recruited to reverse engineer what they had worked on professionally. The machine fills an entire factory floor. ASML's production systems fit in a room. The Chinese prototype is enormous, inefficient, and nowhere near commercial yield, but it generates EUV light. And the engineers working on it believe they can produce functional chips by 2028. Western analysts had put that date at 2035 or later. The strategic implications shifted the moment the Shenzhen prototype was confirmed to exist. Before it, Western semiconductor strategy rested on a simple foundation: the ban is permanent. China cannot make EUV, therefore China cannot make advanced chips. Therefore, the AI and military electronics gap between the West and China will persist and widen. After the prototype, every part of that chain requires re-examination. The prototype is not yet producing chips. The conversion efficiency gap means lower throughput. The optical systems are not at ASML's precision. Carl Zeiss's multi-layer mirrors, polished to accuracies that no Chinese supplier has matched, remain the biggest single technical barrier still standing. But the question is no longer whether China will close those gaps. The question is how long it will take. And the track record of Western estimates about China's technological timeline has been consistent in one direction. They keep being wrong on the short side. China achieved nuclear weapons faster than predicted, hypersonic capability faster than predicted, stealth aircraft faster than predicted, quantum communications faster than predicted. Each time, the consensus said a decade. Each time, China delivered in half that. The semiconductor timeline was always the one exception. The one area where the gap seemed genuinely structural and permanent. The Shenzhen prototype just made that exception much harder to argue. The West's response reveals how seriously the prototype is being taken even by those who publicly minimize it. ASML's CEO said many years. The same week, his team was privately briefing investors that China had made faster progress than previously understood. The United States expanded its semiconductor export controls in late 2024 to cover an even broader set of chip manufacturing equipment. The Dutch government tightened its ASML export license requirements further. The Japanese government introduced additional controls on chip manufacturing equipment. All of these happened after the Shenzhen reports began circulating in industry intelligence channels. Governments do not expand emergency export controls on technology that is not threatening their strategic interests. The EUV prototype was treated by Western governments as serious enough to warrant accelerating the very restrictions that were supposed to have prevented it. There is a deeper problem that no export control can solve. The knowledge is already inside China. Lin Nan carries in his head years of engineering experience from inside ASML's most sensitive research division. His team's 8 patents represent crystallized expertise that cannot be recalled, confiscated, or sanctioned. The engineers who built the Shenzhen prototype learned from working on real ASML systems before export controls tightened. That knowledge transfer happened. It is permanent. The strategic effect of the ban was to delay the prototype by some number of years. The prototype now exists anyway. Here is what the timeline looks like from this point. The Shenzhen prototype is undergoing testing as of early 2026. Engineers on the project believe functional chip production is achievable by 2028. More conservative outside estimates put that at 2030. Even 2030 represents a compression of the timeline by 5 to 10 years from what Western analysts expected before the prototype was confirmed. By 2030, ASML and TSMC will be operating on the next generation of high numerical aperture EUV systems. Intel deployed the industry's first commercial high-NA EUV machine, the ASML TWINSCAN XE5200B, in late 2025. This machine has a numerical aperture of 0.55 versus 0.33 on standard EUV systems. It enables chip production at below 2 nanometers. When China's domestic EUV machines reach commercial production, they will be producing chips at 7 nanometers or above, 1 to 2 generations behind the leading edge. That gap is real and it matters. But it matters less for some applications than others. Military electronics do not require the same cutting-edge node as consumer AI chips. Surveillance systems, missile guidance, communications encryption, electronic warfare, command and control systems. These can function on chips that are not at the absolute frontier. A China with domestic EUV capability at 7 nanometers is a China whose military electronics are no longer dependent on smuggled chips or workarounds. The broader strategic picture reveals something that export control theory missed entirely. When you ban a country from buying a technology, you tell them exactly what they need to build. You confirm that the technology is decisive. You give them a clear target. And if the country is large enough and motivated enough, you accelerate their internal development rather than stopping it. China spent 6 years building what the ban was supposed to prevent. The ban gave them the roadmap. Every ASML machine that China could not buy told Chinese engineers exactly what specifications they needed to hit. Every export control list published by the U.S. Department of Commerce was a shopping list of what China needed to develop domestically. The talent recruitment worked because Western semiconductor companies had trained the engineers China needed. Lin Nan learned EUV at ASML. The engineers who built the Shenzhen machine learned their skills at Western companies before export controls tightened. The very openness of the Western research and employment market, which created the world's best semiconductor ecosystem, also created the human capital that China recruited when the ban went into effect. This is not a criticism of export controls as a tool. Delaying China's EUV development by 6 years still matters strategically. But the assumption that the delay would be permanent has been proven wrong, and the strategic plans that were built on that assumption need to be rebuilt on a different foundation. Here is the full picture. In 2019, the United States convinced the Netherlands to stop ASML from selling EUV machines to China. The strategy was correct in its logic. EUV is the choke point. Without it, advanced chips are impossible. With it, everything changes. What the strategy did not account for is that choke points attract the most concentrated effort from the side that is cut off. China ran a classified national program, recruited the former head of EUV light source technology from ASML itself, paid signing bonuses of up to $700,000, gave engineers false identities, built a prototype machine in Shenzhen that fills an entire factory floor and generates EUV light. The ASML CEO said many years. The prototype existed before he finished the sentence. It cannot produce chips yet. The optical precision of Carl Zeiss mirrors has not been matched. The conversion efficiency is below commercial threshold. 2 to 3 generations of performance gap remain. None of that changes the strategic fact that the ban created a delay, not a wall. The question now is not whether China will have domestic EUV capability. It is when. The engineers working in Shenzhen say 2028. Outside analysts say 2030. Both numbers are a decade ahead of where Western strategy assumed China would be. Subscribe if you want to follow where that timeline leads before it becomes obvious, and leave your answer below. If China produces its first advanced chip on a domestic EUV machine in 2028, what does Washington do next?